is about as good as it gets as a motor journalist. For sport bikes, there's no better year than this in the history of motorcycling, I'd say. We've got 6 motorcycles here. All of them are really fantastic motorcycles. 5 of them we've never put in a comparison test before because they're brand new this year. What do we got, Troy?
We have the Aprilia RSV4 RF, the Kawasaki ZX10R, the Honda CBR 1000 SP, Ducati 1299 Panigale, Yamaha R1, and of course the BMW S1000 RR. Like Kevin said, 5 of these bikes we haven't tested together before.
No, we've sampled them at press intros and really we've liked them all. But to get them in a comparison test, this is the first time. The only bike that we've had a comparison test before is the Kawasaki ZX10R.
From what we've individually said in our single reviews, they're all just amazing bikes. Clearly this is going to be our biggest test of 2015, and what better place than the iconic Laguna Seca Raceway to have this event. So I don't know about you, Kev, but I'm ready to ride.
I think this is going to be a really interesting shootout because we're not really sure how these things are going to shake out. Lots of times we go into these things and we go, oh yeah, it's going to be this or that. And here at Laguna Seca, we're just going to have to ride them and see how they sort out.
Putting on our rubber.
Yes. Be a scale there next time.
Halfway through the session, you can come in. Laguna Seca, 6-liter bikes. I don't think life gets any better than this, and I think this class of motorcycles, the sport motorcycles, never been better, and to come up with a winner, it's going to be really tough because they're all so good, right, Troy?
Absolutely. I mean, 6 of the best bikes you can get on the market right now in this category, and I think we can all agree the bar in the liter bike class has been raised with the addition of the Ducati, BMW, Yamaha, and the Aprilia. That being said, the old school guys in the class, the Honda and the Kawasaki, more than held their own. And you might have noticed there's a special guest here between Kevin and myself, former AMA Superbike champ, Doug Chandler.
3 times.
Doug, first of all, thanks for joining us here. This is awesome to have you here.
I gotta thank you guys for inviting me. I mean, this was a fun day for me just to come out and spin some laps on these, really, really unbelievably new, fast 1000s. Like the guys were saying, the old school bikes, kind of like me, they're still fun to get around the track on. I enjoyed them all. To pick a winner, I think it's gonna be really tough for these guys.
And you'd said in the pits earlier that any of these bikes would beat like a Superbike from 10 years ago, a factory Superbike.
I would say, yeah. I mean, it would definitely give them a run for their money, just out of the box. Back in the day when I was racing, especially the 750s, what we had, power-wise was nothing compared to what these things do now, stock. It's ridiculous.
EPA legal.
Yeah.
We talk about racing improving the breed. Like the Kawasaki's kicking butt in World Superbike now, but the fact that these guys have to compete with each other, and these are the top of the line bikes that every manufacturer makes, and you have to be a lot better than me to get anywhere near the limits of these things out here. But if you're not that good, they cover up your errors at the same time, and they cover up your lack of speed by having traction control and stuff, so you can still roll the thing open and drive off. You could probably, if Doug Chandler had his old bike from 1996, I could probably beat him on the, well, no, I couldn't, but I'd be able to keep him in sight for a couple corners at least.
The Aprilias I've had minimal time on those. It ran really well. It was very neutral feeling for me on the track. Describing that neutral as meaning not too quick, not too slow on the steering. It was very relaxed, which made it nice to get around the track on.
It felt better the faster I went, and it was completely transparent. Like there was just I wasn't thinking about the bike at all other than how cool the intake sounded.
The BMW was a really nice package. It was a good compromise. You know, the seat position was good. I liked it. It was narrow. Acceleration was awesome on that thing. I really enjoyed riding that.
And didn't you say, Doug, that if you had to do a pole lap, and which of these bikes you think would go quickest around Laguna Seca, maybe the BMW would be it?
I think for me personally, just doing, you know, track riding, that felt the best suited for what I would expect out of a bike to go around the track.
Yeah, and we gotta say we didn't do lap times here because we're with Kegwin's track time organization, and Laguna Seca has some sound restrictions, so there's an area of the track where we couldn't go full throttle, but it was interesting trying to keep the speed up but the sound down.
The Ducati was a bit of a revelation. I was amazed at how smooth it was, how usable the power was. The 1299 is no lightweight. Overall, it and the Aprilia to me kind of gave me the smooth vibe the best, but the Ducati was the smoothest, and it was really easy to ride.
The Ducati was very forgiving. I was impressed with the power. You know, I mean, it does have a displacement advantage over the inlines, but it is a twin. But it seemed to just keep pulling, you know, higher in the RPM, so it was, you know, quite nice to ride as well.
It steers better than it used to. They changed the geometry and it's a much better...
Yeah, it doesn't feel, to me, it doesn't feel like a Ducati in the steering. It feels much better.
I also had to give props to the Ducati because with the auto blipping downshift, that works seamlessly. The BMW also has it, which is nice, but I thought the Ducatis worked more seamlessly, better up and down, but especially down.
Jacob Tully, a member of NorCal Ducati Desmo Owners Club, stepped up at the last minute when Ducati pulled out of this test because they couldn't get a technician here. Jacob, thank you. You are a true friend of Mo.
You know, the Honda, I think, is a good package with the suspension it's got on it. You know, it's a definite confidence boost through the corners. You know, it's just a little lacking on some power.
That Honda is really surprising me. The suspension is dialed, it's really easy to ride, it flicks really well, changes directions really well, and you know, with the lack of electronics on it, your brain isn't, at least my brain, isn't processing all of the different features of traction control, slide control, wheelie control, this, that, and the other thing. It's just ride the bike as quickly as you can.
Also got to say something about the Kawasaki, right? Our reigning Japanese champion, and it's still good. Went great on the track. It's trash control. It's a few years old. Still worked great. It's a really fantastic bike.
The Kawasaki, we made some changes. You know, before it was a little lazy through the corner. We corrected that, and I was quite happy with it this afternoon. And it was fun to ride without the traction control and assist. You know, you could do some pretty cool wheelies on it.
The Kawasaki was plenty fast in a straight line, even with me on it. Very easy to handle. It is a little heavier steering than the other bikes, physically actually heavier steering, and a little slower steering.
The Yamaha felt like probably the closest of a race bike as far as these bikes go for, you know, street bikes. It actually wanted to fall into the corners for you at a slower speed, thus giving you that race bike feel. Overall, it gets around the track really well.
I like the way I can place it anywhere I want in the corner, and then the engine again goes like stink. So, but what do you expect from open class bikes, right?
How about you, John? What's your favorite bike?
You know, I started off on the Honda this morning and I was kind of frightened and everything, but the Honda was a good one to start on. But like every one I jumped on from the last one, I liked the next one better because I was starting to get unrusted and spray myself with WD-40 every time and get a little better. So like every one I jumped on, and I haven't ridden here in 10 or 15 years, and I didn't remember how steep it is, up and down. It's like the rate of ascent, and the rate of descent is like twice as much as it used to be the last time I rode here, just because these bikes are so powerful, but they're so awesomely controllable at the same time.
All right, but that's just the track impressions. We still got to get them on the street, get them on the dyno, get them on the scales. So we got to pack this up here from Laguna Seca. Happy to have Doug Chandler here. Let's get on the street.
Thanks, Jacob and Doug.
Right on, yeah, Jacob too, and Mr. Chandler.